Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori and today I am setting up my yearly collections bullet journal. Finally, it is a week into the new year and I've actually already got some stuff in here that I need to mark off. So I'm finally going to go ahead and get this started. So the bullet journal that I will be using is a journal from Archer and Olive. And it's this beautiful, like, coffee themed journal that came in one of the Archer and Olive subscription boxes. So it's not going to be available for purchase, but I will have a link below for any journals in the A5 size that are currently available if you're interested in checking them out. But this is what this one looks like. It is 160 GSM paper, and I don't even know how many papers are in here, but I think it's like 190 something. But this is what I will be using to keep track of my yearly collections. Since I know that this journal is going to be lasting me for at least a couple of years, I wanted it to be something that I loved and that I knew that I wouldn't stop loving. So this is a themed journal cover that I know that I will love for years and years to come. So I thought this would be perfect for using for yearly collections. So if you do not know what a yearly collections journal is, this is actually an idea that I got from JashiiCorrin or Jess. I will have her YouTube channel linked below if you're interested in checking her out. You may have already know who she is because she's a pretty big YouTuber. So she does yearly collections, and it's basically just the collections that you... So the yearly collections journal is going to be a journal that essentially holds any of my year-long collections. So things that I'm not going to want to have to transfer from journal to journal if I run out of room in one of my other bullet journals. That way I can kind of get everything set up. The one page that I don't have fully prepped in here yet that I will do the title on is going to be the word of the year that I want to do. I had started kind of sketching this out, but I'm just not 100% sure what I want to do yet. So I'll just do my main title and probably add a little bit of my decorations around the side. And then just come back and do that part a little bit later once I've had some more time to think about it. So I have my acrylic Archer and Olive ruler here. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's got numbers up at the top that kind of tell you the dot grid spacing and like little templates. It's kind of like a stencil and a ruler in one. I'll be using that today, and I'll also be using these 3 washi tapes. So these 2 came in a pack together from the washi tape shop, and this one is from Michael's. It's one of the Recollections brands, and it came in a pack of like 6 grid washies. So I'm going to be using those, and these are primarily going to be what my theme is for this setup. I have a couple of brush markers here. The only one that I know what the name is this slate blue. I have slate blue and 942. I don't know what this one is because there's no name on it. So I'm not 100% sure what that one is called or where it's from. But these are going to be what these 3 colors actually look like when you color with them. So I had kind of tested these out to make sure I liked the way that they looked with this washi tape, and I really do like it. I didn't have something that was this shade of orange, so I'm just going to stick with the kind of a yellowy orange and then pink and then a navy. And then I just have my Pigma Microns in the 0105 colorways. And for the acrylographs, I will probably just link in general to the acrylographs on the Archer and Olive website if you're interested in checking those out, because they sell them in packs, not individually, so I can't link them individually. So I will just kind of link over to what is currently available for you in the description box. So I already have most of my pages sketched out in this particular setup. So I took some time and sketched most of this out. I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to have a word of the year in here, and then a YouTube and Instagram like follower slash subscriber tracker, I'm going to be doing the 101 things. So 101 things that I want to do this year. I'm also going to be doing 24 things to do 24 times in 2024. I don't have 24 things completely yet, but I will kind of go through what I have selected when I do my voiceover for this and then kind of get that sketched out. And then I have an around the house spread that I want to do and a tried and loved or tried and hated spread that I want to include in here. And I've left kind of 4 spots on each side for at least 8 things that I may potentially try this year. So if I love it, I'll put it under this side. And if I hated it, I'll put it under this side and then just write a little bit about why I did each of them. And I think that's all I have set up as of right now for in here. But I do really like the idea that since this is a yearly journal and I won't be setting this up again until 2025, I have a lot of room here to add additional trackers, yearly trackers, if I decide that there's anything else that I want to track. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to like my voiceover self and get started on getting this journal set up. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get my name added to this nameplate page, as well as my date started and date ended kind of little headers for the next 2 rows. I've said in a previous setup that I really like having a start date and end date listed in this front cover for my journals. So I'm going to definitely continue doing that throughout my setups. And then we will flip over and start working on my cover pages. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did in my regular bullet journal setup for this year, where I'm turning this kind of awkward first page just into a pocket. I don't actually have any idea what I'm going to be doing with this pocket yet, but I like the idea of having it here. I think I might like write a letter to myself or something and put like a little tag on it that says do not open until December 31st of 2024 or something like that. Let me know what you think I should do with this pocket down in the comments below. I'm going to pull out one of the washi tapes and just tape down the kind of spare piece of paper that I didn't get to cut off because it was attached to that very first page. And I did this same thing in my regular bullet journal setup as well. And then anytime I have a ripped off piece of this washi tape, because I am very much going to be ripping a whole lot of washi tape in this setup again, I'm just going to place it elsewhere on my pages or spreads. I'm just using some 1/8 inch score tape to adhere this pocket down to that page that it's attached to, and then I will work on doing a little bit of decoration. This font that I'm using for all of my headers this setup, I saw in a video from Jess, who I mentioned in my intro, and I have no idea what video it was from, but I'll already have her channel linked below if you want to go check it out. It was like my YouTube was just like continuing playing at one point, and I looked down and saw her talking about some fun fonts to use for your setups, and this was one of them, and I just took a screenshot of it. So I have no idea what video it's actually from because I was not paying attention. I will be adding a kind of broken border to each page in this setup as well. And I'm going to forget about it in a couple of these pages as we work through them. But when my battery dies at some point during this setup, I will go back in and add the border to a couple of those pages that are missing it. I will say that whenever I have a page that just feels like it's missing something, I really, really love how a border, just adding a simple border to that page really completes it. So for this one, I'm doing, like I said, a broken line, and I'm also going about a little bit less than 1/8 of an inch in from that line and just adding a secondary broken line. that way I can use one of my markers that I've selected for this setup to just draw a line and kind of color in that little border. And it just gives it a little bit of extra like oomph, I guess. I don't know. I really love the way that it looks though, and the way that it finishes off the page. This is probably one of the more colorful spreads that I've done. I don't tend to use a lot of colors, I don't feel like, especially blue. I am not a blue girl. So I was shocked at how much I loved this marker when I got it. I think this one came in the library subscription from Archer and Olive, that library themed one. And I did love it, which is really odd for me because I'm usually really, really picky about blues. Anyways, so we are setting up my word of the year page now. I'm going to, like I said, be using that exact same font. This one is going to be a little bit shorter than how tall I had my year in my cover page for the journal. I think these are 4 dot grid spaces tall, and then I just kind of, at this point, was just drawing the width to whatever felt comfortable. You'll definitely see and be able to tell throughout the setup as I was getting more comfortable with doodling out this type of font, how it kind of starts morphing to fit like my curvy lines instead of straight lines. But I think the headers at the end of the setup I like a lot more because they are more, I feel like me, just because they're not all straight like 90-degree edges. I will add that same border to this page as well and then get that colored in, and then I'm going to add some washi tape. That is all I do during this video, but when I do my final flip through at the end, and you might have seen it at the beginning too if you paid attention to that kind of like little sneak that I had before my channel intro or whatever, I did kind of hand letter the word intentional because that is going to be my word of the year. And then I just wrote the definition of intentional, which is done on purpose or deliberate, because I really want to be super, super intentional this year with the people that I'm allowing to take up like my brain space and time in my life. I want to hang out with people that I actually want to hang out with. I want to do things that I actually enjoy doing. So I want to be very intentional about how I'm spending my time this year and what I'm focusing my energy on. So I thought this would be a fantastic word of the year for me. And you'll see as we get closer to some of the spreads that I will be setting up, specifically the 24 things to do in 2024 spread, I selected a good portion of those based on using this word. So I will go through what I have so far. I don't have that list completed yet, so if you've got any ideas, let me know down in the comments below of things that I could add to this list. One of my friends gave me a few ideas as well when she came over and we made cards together, so that was super exciting. So let me know if you have any suggestions in the comments below. For the decoration on this page, I don't want to take up a lot of space, but I do want to use both of the washi tape shop washies. So I'm going to layer those on top of each other and then just kind of tear off the tops so they both have a little bit rough of an edge. And I'll get those layered, and then I will add a little bit of that grid washi as well to either side of the spread. It's not going to touch the kind of layered look that I have at the bottom, but it will be on like the top left hand corner and the top right hand corner and the bottom left hand corner above that layered washi. So that's really all that it is going to be for this particular setup once I get that piece of washi then added to its location. And then we will move on to working on my YouTube and Instagram like followers or subscribers tracker. I don't know what it is about doing this, but I love it. It's just so fun to keep track of the number to me, and I don't really even care about the number. I just like to fill in the boxes, which is the same reason that I continue to do a Goodreads goal tracker in my reading journal, because I just love filling in the boxes. So I am going to add one of these for both YouTube and Instagram. And the way that I listed these out is solely for me being able to fill in the boxes more often. I believe I only go by hundreds until I get to like 3,000 down under YouTube. So yeah, I just count everything up by hundreds, because then every 100 subscribers or followers I get to kind of just color in this box. For these boxes, they are quite large, I'm sure you'll notice. I am going to stamp out the number and color in the edges, the borders of each box. But the reason I made them so large is because I really like adding a date stamp for when I reach said milestone. So if you are here, subscribe to me on YouTube. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. If you're following me on Instagram, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for being here. And like I feel like I say this all the time, but if you want to see anything specific from me, just let me know and I will see what I can do. So I'm using my letter stamps from Amazon, these block stamps, and I'm just stamping out each milestone that I'll be able to color in once I reach that milestone. At the time of filming this, or at the time of recording this voiceover, I am like 2 subscribers away from 1,800. So I am hoping I'll be able to color that box in soon, because I just really like coloring these boxes in. I don't really even pay too much attention to the subscriber count, but like, I just love filling these boxes in. I don't know. Do you like coloring in boxes for milestones? Let me know. I am going to color in, like I said, each of the titles and each of the edges of these boxes, and then I will add a little bit of washi tape to the edges of this spread as well, I believe. And for this particular page, I'm going to like double up on my washi in the corner, I believe. So I will rip this washi so that it kind of fits like it's going to be a corner piece. And then I'm going to cut it off of the edge and then take the piece that's hanging off and then rip that so that it kind of creates like a large torn piece. And I love doing this with washi tape, especially if it's not thick enough to cover as much as I want. And especially if it's kind of like this one where it's just like a randomized pattern. It's a lot easier to get away with doing this technique with a randomized washi tape, which this one is. And I think it looks super good, and you can't even tell that it doesn't line up perfectly unless you're really, really looking for the imperfections or them not lining up. But then I will add a little bit of that grid washi tape as well, and we will move on to the next 2 pages, or the next 1 page. Yeah, the next spread. The next spread is going to be my 101 things spread, and this spread, legitimately, I just took the stylizing, not the stylizing, but like the format of how everything's laid out. I copied Jess almost exactly, and then just kind of put my own type of decorations on it that I liked. So I'm doing a Dutch door type of spread, and I'm cutting the right hand piece of paper a little bit of a ways down, just so that I don't have to write this title more than once. As much as I really love the way that these words and letters and stuff worked out with this font that I'm using, it was a little bit time intensive to write all of these, and I definitely did not want to have to do this exact same title more than once. So I definitely copied Jess and did this layout the exact same way that she does her layouts, and then just decorated it to fit my personal style. So I am going to do my header, which just says 101 things, and I did the elongated numbers like I did on my cover page, and then just the same header style that I've been doing for the rest of my pages. And then I added a broken line underneath that heading, just to kind of make the little flip kind of become invisible whenever you flipped it. So like you wouldn't actually know that this was technically 2 spreads until you go to actually flip the page. So I think that worked out quite well. So once I've got my actual header done, I'm going to go ahead and number all of my lines 1 through 101. And a couple of the things that I put on here so far, I've only got 6. So I've got to come up with some ideas of things to do here as well. But on this one, I have build a fire pit, celebrate my birthday, take family photos, paint the house, the inside of the house, go to a hockey game, and take the kids to a theme park. These are all things aside from celebrating my birthday and taking family photos that we've not actually done before. So I want to kind of have some everyday type things and then things that we haven't actually done yet as things that I'm adding to this particular list. I'm adding washi tape to each of the corners of this page, doing the same type of technique that I did on the last page, where I am kind of just lining that top right-hand corner up with another piece of washi tape to make that ripped paper look a little bit bigger. And then I will just continue adding washi at the corners of these pages. This is one of the spreads that I felt like looked really incomplete. And so this is the one, I believe, at the end of the video. This is where I will come back and do this one. I'll do this one at the end of the video, adding that border. Let me actually tell you what I was going to do. I'll come back at the end of the video and add the border to this particular spread. Some of them I did off camera, and then I think 2 of them, this one and the 24 things to do 24 times in 2024, that one I will do on camera. So you'll see those 2 at the end of the video. And then I'm just, like I said, adding some washi tape and then moving right along. So we are now at my 24 things to do 24 times in 2024. But I didn't put 2024, I just put 24 with a little apostrophe next to it because I didn't want the header to take up too much space, essentially. I'm doing the exact same heading and then adding a little bit of hand lettering, like calligraphy type font, just cursive really, for all of the words that are in between all of the 24s. This one is another one that I'm taking almost completely from Jess. I really, really love the way that she keeps track of her 24s in 2024. So I'm going to copy that same like dot chart. I'm doing a dot chart because I'm going to use my zig dot markers to kind of highlight the sections once I'm completed with them. But I'll have a list of things that I want to do going across the bottom, and then on the left hand side of the chart will be 1 through 24, and then I will do like my base outline of the chart in a solid line, which is what I'm drawing now. And then I also really liked the idea of kind of keeping track of those said things. So the next like 4 pages are going to be just a lot of boxes for me to either write what I did, if it's something that I would want to keep track of, like a movie title or a book or something like that. I'll have larger boxes for those, and then for smaller boxes where I just want to put a date, I'll have some smaller boxes for those. And I think that takes about 2 full spreads for me to get enough for all 24 pieces. But I am not going to torture you with all of that. I'm just going to do this first one on the right-hand side of this page for setting that up. I have decently small boxes. I have the page split into 3 columns, and then each of those 3 columns, I believe, has 8 rows, and then they go sideways up to 24. So then on the left-hand side of the box, I'll write whatever I want that to correlate with. So yeah, the items that I have so far on this, let me flip to my page in my journal. I've actually got it in front of me so I can reference it. So for my 24 things so far, I have non-romance reads because I am a big romance reader, so I thought that that would be a fun thing to try and complete. Sewing, so to sew 24 things, have 24 new Etsy listings, go on 24 date nights, save $100, declutter 24 times, and this is one of those intentional ones where I want to intentionally declutter. So as date nights, I want to intentionally plan to go out on more date nights with my husband, stuff like that. I have face masks, Pilates or yoga, new to me movies, which I already have one of those completed, yay. And then game nights, intentionally socializing, library visits, photo adventures, nature walks, and nails. So those are the ones that I have so far. I have about 9 left, I think, that I need to come up with ideas for. So if you have any recommendations, let me know down in the comments below. But like I said, I'm not going to make you watch me do all of these extra pages. So I just skipped along to the next page, which is going to be the around the house page. So things that we may want to do this year around the house. So for my 101 things page, I did have paint the house on here. I had added that to that list, or in my mind added it to that list before I decided that I was actually going to do an around the house page. So it's going to basically end up on both of these pages, but I'm not mad at it because, as I've said earlier, I like to color boxes in and check things off. So it's whatever to me. It can be on both places. But this is going to be things that we want to do to like around the house projects, essentially. And I'm just using my title here and writing around the house. And then I will add some washi tape and then just add, I think it's like 6 check boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 check boxes to this page for me to add things that we might want to do this year around our house. And then that way, once we've got them completed, we can check them off. I also left a decent amount of space in between them. So if I have to add more things, I should still be able to. But I think 6 house projects is quite a lot for 1 year. So I don't know that I'll actually need to be able to do that. And then, like I said, I'll just add some washi tape to add a little bit of decoration to this page. I'm just adding 2 little corner pieces of washi tape. And then we will flip over to the final spread, which is going to be my tried spread. I'm going to add like the little border here and then the boxes, and then we'll move on to the tried spread. For the last spread that we're setting up is going to be my tried spread. And so I'm making a big header that just says tried. For a second, I thought I wrote tired, but I definitely wrote tried. So, whew. And then on the left-hand page, I'm writing and loved. And then on the right-hand page, I'm writing and hated. So I thought this would be a really fun memory keeping type spread to have in this particular journal. To kind of keep track of new things that I've tried this year and whether or not I loved them or hated them. I am so proud of myself. I'm actually using one of the stencil parts of this ruler from archerandolive, and I just used it to make my boxes. I figured it could be super fun to just put little pictures of whatever it is that I tried in these little boxes. I'm then going to add a couple of dots just to keep track of how long I want this other line to be, because I'm doing a box on one side and then a solid line on the other side to kind of indicate the end of that area, I guess. I just really liked the way that it looked. And then I will work on just adding some washi tape to the corners of these pages. And then I will also highlight every other line next to each box with that pink Tombow marker that I've been using throughout my spreads. I haven't actually done that on video, at least in this spread, or any of these spreads, really just done some every other line highlighting. So I think by the time I got to this part, I was like, wait, I haven't done this thing, which is something that I do quite a bit and usually do, so I just went ahead and did it. So I will, like I said, finish getting this washi tape added, and then I'm going to add my border to this page. And I think when I added this border, I was like, wait a minute, I feel like I missed some pages to add borders to. So that's where I decide to kind of check back after I finish this border and see if I was missing any borders on other pages that I might want to go back and do. I have this like 90-degree angle and a piece of like scrap washi tape that I had out that I was like, oh, this would fit perfectly right here. So I didn't have to waste it. I just kind of stuck it right in that corner, and then I will add all of my lines for every other line highlighting. So I'm flipping back now and kind of checking those other spreads to see what I might want to add a border to. And really, I just want it to be on all of the pages. And I'm going to add a border to all of the pages, which you'll see in the final flip through. But I'm going to do the 24 things to do 24 times in 2024. I'm going to add this one on camera, and then I will also add the border to my 101 things page on camera as well. And then once I get those done, I think that's going to be it. I think that's all I have going for me in this particular setup. While I am doodling all of these lines, I would love to know, so if you're watching this video, you likely do bullet journaling or just have an interest in watching it and not actually doing it. I get that. I did that for a while before I actually started bullet journaling. But I would love to know if there's any specific type of things that you would like to see from me that relate to bullet journaling. I have been wanting to add some new pages to kind of like my reference journal that I have. Would you want to see like a flip through of that, or anything else really, any kind of things that you would want to see that relate to bullet journaling? Definitely let me know down in the comments below, because I am happy to make videos of things like that. Now, I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just doing this as a hobby, really. But if I can help y'all out and make videos that help y'all, I would love to do that. So just let me know down in the comments below if you have anything specific to bullet journaling that you would like to see from me. And we are done. I'm gonna go ahead and do a final little flip through. Let me know what your favorite page is for this setup, and if you've considered using a yearly collections journal. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!